Hey, everybody. Welcome. It is Lisa Winston here, and we are on the Transform Your Money Story Summit. And I'm so glad that you guys are here because I really wanted to put this together because I know everybody is so stuck around money. I mean, it seems to be like there's more stuck now than there ever was before. And so I'm really feeling the need to reach out and help everyone who needs it. And I am really blessed to have the most amazing experts on this summit. And so thank you for joining us. And today I'm just absolutely thrilled and honored. Oh my gosh, to have Dr. Joe Vitale with me today. Thank you and welcome to the summit, Joe.
Thank you. It's an honor and a treat to be here. I love what you're doing. Let's make a difference. Let's help people. So I'm flattered.
Yeah,
thank you.
Let's help people. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I'm flattered. I want to read, I'm going to kind of dissect your bio, the long one, because you're so interesting and you've done so many things, and I really want people to get a sense of who you are, if I may. So you guys already know Dr. Joe Vitale, right? He's like a world expert on abundance, and he was in The Secret and all kinds of stuff. So we are really honored to have him here today. He's an author, speaker, musician. I didn't know that. I'm a musician 40 years. That's so cool. Wow. Yeah, wow. I am old. Okay, so now you know. Marketing expert, movie, TV, and radio personality. He has many best-selling books, including The Attractor Factor, The Key, Faith, Attract Money Now, and Zero Limits. His latest releases are At Zero, The Awakened Millionaire, and The Miracle, 6 Steps to Enlightenment. You're, of course, a popular star in several movies, including The Secret. You've appeared on Larry King Live, CNN, CBS, Fox and Friends, you've appeared everywhere. We already know that. Okay, cool. You have a miracles coaching program, which is really cool. I was kind of looking into that, and I'm sure everybody's going to want to know about that. And also, Joe has several audio programs, more than several: The Awakening Course, The Missing Secret, The Secret to Attracting Money, The Abundance Paradigm, The Ultimate Law of Attraction Library, and The 0 Point. And I love this. I have to share. This is so cool. His most recent accomplishments include being the world's first self-help singer-songwriter, as seen in 2012's Rolling Stone magazine. And to date, he has released 15 albums. Get out of here. That's amazing. They were even recognized and nominated. The Grammys of Positive Music. There's so much I don't know. Oh my gosh, you are a busy man, and you look very happy too. So you're happy and busy. It's all good.
I'm just doing what I love. That's all there is.
You know what? And that's what it's all about, right?
I think that's really the secret. You follow your passion, you do what you love, and keep taking the next step. Have faith, keep smiling.
Yeah, the secret of the secret. I love that. Who knew? We know now, right? So, Joe, if I may call you that, we were talking earlier about how people are so stuck. And the reason, again, that I created this is because there's, even myself, I mean, I worked with a lot of people, and a lot of other people, we've done techniques, and people are jumping from person to person and program to program, and people are not getting results. So, I really want to move people into creating something, flow, whatever it is, right? And what I'd love to start out with is, I love your story. And, most people look at people like you and go, oh God, he's got everything, and, it's easy for him and all that. But you are actually homeless. So I would love for you to share your story of challenges to success so that everybody knows that you started out in the same place.
Yeah, well, so you want to start with the dark night, huh?
I do. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I never used to talk about it, but I was homeless back in the late 1970s in Dallas, Texas. And I was in poverty for almost 10 years, at least 10 years, when I was in Houston, Texas. And I was working on myself, and I wanted to be an author, and I was writing material, and I was sending it out, but I wasn't getting any breaks. It was really the long, dark night of the soul. It's one of those where I know what struggle's like. I know what starvation is like. I know what despondency is like. I know what it's like to have miserable thoughts. I know what it's like to have suicidal thoughts. I went through all of that as I kept growing. Now, of course, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have wonderful events like what you're putting on here. And I was pretty much doing it all by myself. I lived in the public library, which in many ways was great for me. I'm a book nerd. I just love books and surrounded by books all around me. I write books, read books, promote books, give away books, it goes on and on. But also the library was air conditioned, and I was in Texas and Dallas and all of this and homeless. So that's where I really worked on myself. And I'm not an overnight success unless you think 30 years is overnight, because I had to work on myself all through that time. And there would be little breaks here and there. I would get a publication. I had a play I wrote, produced. I got no money for these things, but they were like signs from the universe, if you will, that I was on the right track, and I had to keep trucking forward. And of course, now I'm on the other side of it. I live the lifestyle of the rich and famous. I've written 50-some books. I've got 16 music CDs. I've got audio courses. I've got my Miracles coaching program. I fly all over the world. I went to Kuwait to speak. I'm going to Madrid or somewhere like that pretty soon. And so I'm doing all of these things. And you said I'm busy earlier. And I am, but I'm doing what I love. And I think that is an essential secret that people need to hear. It is a matter of following your passion, but it is also a matter of taking action, doing the marketing, doing the self-reflection, the self-rewiring, if you will. And as you do it, you transform, as I am here to attest today.
Yeah, but like I said, there are people who've done, there are like a lot of pieces I think that are missing for people, because first of all, finding what you love. Like, how did you go from being homeless to knowing what your passion was and your purpose and what you adore doing, because you obviously weren't doing it for 10 years, right?
Right. How
did you get to that point?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. So we're going to go a little deeper here, and I want to unfold what I think is the big secret that everybody's missing. And I did a course called The Missing Secret, an audio program, because people watched the movie The Secret, and they read some of the self-help books, and they read the book The Secret, and they would say, feels good, I tried it, it didn't work for me. And here's the missing secret. Here's what everybody needs to get, and I had to get it myself, is that what you're getting is a direct match to what you unconsciously believe and expect. This is really important, because people are sitting there going, look, I'm writing affirmations, I'm doing my goals, I'm doing the business meetings, I'm in a mastermind, maybe I have a coach, whatever. But what they don't realize is that they're working on the surface level. They're working on the conscious level. And I was too. During that time that I was homeless, I was not somebody that was drinking or in drugs or doing anything that was abortive behavior. I was going for my dreams. I knew I wanted to be a writer. I was writing, but I wasn't getting published. And here's where I had to go, and here's where everybody that's listening or watching this has to go. You have to go into your belief system, in your unconscious, subconscious mind, to find out what the operating beliefs were. And I'm telling people right now, you have beliefs about money, you have beliefs about deservingness, you have beliefs about self-worth, you have beliefs about success, you have beliefs about failure, and those beliefs are hidden but operating. So we look around and go, oh, nothing's happening. Well, bull, we're getting exactly what we are wanting on an unconscious level, myself included. When I was homeless, I had no idea that I didn't want money in my life. I thought I wanted money. I wanted to write, and I wanted money from my writing. But I, like virtually everybody watching, had the belief money is the root of all evil. If you think money's evil, you're not going to want it in your life. You will say you want it, and you will do things to bring it, but you will unconsciously sabotage it, and you won't even know it. You'll blame everybody else. You'll say it's the president, it's the terrorist, it's the economy, it's the time of change, it's Mercury in retrograde, or whatever the latest fad is, blame it on. And those are all excuses. So in my case, and this is, again, where I think we all need to go, we got to look at our beliefs about success. Do we believe we deserve it? Do we believe it's possible for ourselves? Do we believe that success is actually good? Are we okay with money? Do we know that money is neutral, that we can use it to leverage to get our dreams and make our dreams come true? Do we like ourselves? So many of us don't think we're enough in some way, shape, or form, that we go around all the time thinking that nothing's going to happen for me because I'm not good enough. I'm not likable, I'm not lovable, I'm not smart enough, young enough, old enough, whatever the enough happens to be. So this is what I'm saying. Your question is so wonderful, and this is really the deep work that needs to be done for everybody. It looks like nothing's happening in your life, but you're actually having all kinds of things happen in your life. What you have happening, what you're calling nothing, is everything. and it's a match to your unconscious beliefs. That's the first observation. The second one is to go deeper to find out what might my beliefs be that would create this kind of experience. As you narrow in on the beliefs, now the third step would be to question them, change them, replace them, so that now you have more of an empowered mindset, and you can start to have, do, or be more of what you prefer in life. So, I mean, I can get on a soapbox with all of this and just keep talking. I'll pause for a drink.
Please do. No, because it's so juicy. And, you know, again, everybody has these programs and, you know, we're supposed to read and affirm and visualize. And after a while, people are like, oh my God, you know, I don't even know what to do anymore. And there's so many steps, right, that it gets confusing and people just stop. They give up because they're not seeing any movement or momentum. And again, I had asked you like how you really got into what it is that you love to do. So how do you jump from figuring out what your beliefs are? You know, can you clear them really? You said replace them. And then what's that piece again? Because clearly you love what you do, because that's where the flow's is just coming and you're like young and you're doing it. And like you said, you're not busy. It's just this ease and joy, right? But we're all stuck in this non-joy, you know, the stuckness. So it seems like there are a lot of pieces to get to where you are today. You know, how can we start the process and not get overwhelmed with it?
Yeah, I love your questions and how much integrity you have in making sure we get to the answers for the people that are watching. So you're really being of service to everybody that have tuned in to watch this thing. So I'm very impressed with that. So I'm complimenting you.
Thank you.
So here's what I think is the very first step for all of us, and it had to be the big step for me too. It's going to sound so simple when I say it, and people are going to say, oh, I've heard that before. And I'm going to rush right in after I say it and say, are you doing it? And that's the idea of gratitude. Gratitude in this moment. And I know, because, man, when I was struggling and I was starving and I got the bills and I'm going, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay for my car? And I lived in this little rut of a one room. The toilet was in the same room as a TV set. I mean, this is where I was at. And to pay a couple $100s a month was agony to be there. So I know those feelings. And at the same time, the books and the teachers that I was reading in the library, and I'd go to free lectures and so forth, they all said you have to begin with gratitude. And in my mind, I would say, yeah, when I have something to be grateful for, I will start being grateful. But that's not how it works. And I have this it's now a famous story because I've told it in a couple movies. It's called My Pencil Story, and I don't have a pencil here, I have a pen. But I remember going back to my room and thinking, okay, I'm going to try this gratitude bullshit.
Right.
I'm going to try this. You know, I'm skeptical and I'm flippant. And I pick up a pencil and I'm going, okay, I'm going to be grateful for this pencil. With this pencil, I can write a suicide note. Yeah, I can write a suicide note. I can write a grocery list. I can write a poem. And then I was shifting a little bit because I started to think, well, I can write the great American novel. I can write love letters. I can write love poems. I can write all kind of wonderful things. My energy changed a little bit just by looking at the pencil and realizing, oh, I can do a lot. And then I looked at the other end and I said, an eraser. My God, that's genius. An eraser. It's really a twig, right, with a piece of lead in it. And now somebody put an eraser. So now I can erase the suicide note. I swear to God, that 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute skeptical to transcendent exercise changed my life forever, because I realized I was still in the moment of not having the money, not having publication, not having the bills paid, not having whatever it is that I was already complaining about. But now I found things to be grateful for. It began with the pencil. And then I realized I had a roof over my head. I had a tiny little refrigerator and there was a sandwich in it. There were people on the planet that didn't even have that. And I had air conditioning and it was Texas and it was hot. So I was grateful for that. All of it opened. And here's what's interesting. When I became grateful for the very flippant little pencil, which is what opened the window for me, my mind opened up, my heart opened up, my vibration, if you will, my energy all got higher. I had more energy, I had more enthusiasm, I had more optimism, and I started to see that there were sparks of hope in my surroundings that were there all along, and I didn't see them. That was a turning point for me. Again, it didn't happen overnight, but because that opened up, the window in me and in my mind, I started looking each day for, what am I grateful for? And I still practice that. And today I get in a hot tub. I live in Texas. I get in a hot tub under the Texas sky, floating in these bubbly hot water. And I do my gratitude hour. And I swear this is what keeps me going, is that I'm practicing gratitude. So when people go, what do I do? Do I do the affirmations? I do the visualizations? Do I do my scripting, to-do list? Do I read this book, read that book? Pick up a pencil. Start with gratitude for anything in this moment. That will shift and begin to shift your entire life direction. You want to continue practicing it. It doesn't cost anything. Just take a breath, look around. What am I grateful for right now? And we also have to remember that the air we're given is free. The gravity that holds me down so I don't float off out of your frame here is also free. My heart, my lungs, my brain, my eyes, all of this stuff is working for me that is free. And I'm thinking, we can't outgive the universe. But we have to stop and move into that mindset before we begin to realize the magnificence and the miracle of what we already have. That's where it actually starts.
Wow. As you were speaking, I was actually getting really emotional because that really speaks to me right now. It really resonates with me. I still feel very emotional because we bitch and moan about everything constantly, you know, about how nothing's working and we're trying everything. And the last thing that we do is is go to gratitude. So I love that because I feel like that's all, like you said, that's the number one thing, you know, to lift your vibrations. It really does change everything. So I wanted to ask you about something. You talked about mindset, and I really I'd love for you to speak into that too. But what came to mind to me was like commitment. That word kept coming forward for me. So you were talking about, you know, you're in your room and you're picking up your pencil, but it's like you had a commitment. Yes, you were in crappy circumstances and you wanted to be in a better place. But, you know, you can get depressed and sit and drink beer and eat bonbons all day on the couch and do nothing, right? Watch TV and not go anywhere. You had a fire in your soul. You were reading books. You had a commitment to actually find a way to move. So I just wanted to share that for whatever reason, if there's anything you want to say about that. And then I would love for you to move into mindset. I would.
That is a brilliant observation. And it is something we want to look at here because some people might say that I know or knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a writer when I was 16 years old. And so a lot of people might be sitting there going, well, that's great, but I don't know what my joy is. I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my life calling is. So I want to look at that for a minute. I think that we all have a specific life calling and a life mission, our contribution to the world. And it does not have to be something that is mega. It doesn't have to be you're going to be this all-star celebrity or sports figure. It could be, but I want the people that are sitting there going, well, I don't have that kind of a dream. I don't want to be a best-selling author. I don't want to be in movies. I don't want to do that. That's all fine. I have met plumbers that were the best and the happiest plumbers I had ever seen in my life. It's like, I don't want to do plumbing, but they don't want to write books.
Right.
So I want to do what's good for me, and they want to do what's good for them. And my theory is when you do your piece of the puzzle, I do my piece of the puzzle, and everybody else does theirs, the world works. There's a symphony, and it just is beautiful music when it all happens. So how do you find out what your piece of the puzzle is? I ask people to do 2 or 3 things, and one of them is, I don't encourage gambling at all, but I ask them to say, if you won the lottery, and in the United States, the lottery has gone up to $500 million at some point. I mean, just staggering. And somebody is a billionaire overnight. And I would say, well, play with that. If you won that, even after taxes, you would have hundreds of millions of dollars. What would you do? And of course, people will jokingly, or maybe not jokingly, say they're going to travel around the world 20 times and they're going to buy houses and cars and shoes and that. And I'm saying, great, do that. One day you're going to wake up on the beach and you're going to go, okay, that was fun. Now I'm bored. What do you want to do as a contribution? What comes to mind at that point? And I think that's going to be a first clue. So what would you do if you were independently wealthy? There was no concern about money whatsoever. What is going to be your contribution? The second is, when people were kids, what did they want to be when they were a kid? I know that I wanted to be a world famous magician. I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to be a private eye. I wanted to be an author. I went through all these different things. I wanted to be a boxer at one point. And I kind of played with them with a kid's mindset about, wow, wouldn't it be cool if I did such and such? And because I loved books, even as a little kid, I realized that that's the road that seemed right for me, to go in the direction of writing books. So I decided early on, but again, I was looking at that childhood enthusiasm for different things, and I wasn't looking for other people's approval, and I wasn't looking for the evidence I could do it, because there wouldn't be any in any of the fields at that point. So it was more a matter of what would I do if I was just a little kid and playing. Then the third thing that I do with people is I get in their face and I say, look, you know what you want to do. You know it. You just don't want to admit it. As soon as you admit it, you now either have to make excuses for not doing it, or you got to go out there and start doing it. So I get more in their face, and it's a tough love approach. You know, I'm just holding up a mirror and saying, look, if you won the lottery, what would you do? If you're a little kid, you play with different ideas, what would you do? If you're honest with yourself, and I mean ruthlessly honest with yourself, what would you do? And all of this is to get people to do that internal work, to find that clue of what it is they're supposed to do. And then, of course, the next step is start doing something in the direction of that. I always tell people, you start where your shoes are. You don't have to wait until all kind of things fall into place. Your shoes are on your feet right here in this moment. What's the first thing you can do? And maybe it's making a phone call. Maybe it's buying a book. Maybe it's attending a seminar. Maybe it's getting your own website. Maybe it's getting the name of your business. What's the first baby step, obvious step that you can do right now? And then after you make that first step, the second step always becomes apparent. You don't need to know all the steps. I tell people it's like driving your car at night across the United States. You can only see 100 feet or 100 yards, whatever it happens to be. You can't see all the way across the states. But you start driving, the lights illuminate it, go a little further, lights show you what to do next, and you can make the whole trip that way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that, you know, making it easy, because people do get overwhelmed. They watch summits like this and they listen to 21 speakers, and after a while they have all this information, they have smoke coming out of their ears. You know, it's like, let's get back to reality. Let's see, gratitude and the first step. I love that. That makes it really super easy and doable. So again, I would love for you to talk about mindset a little bit more, because it's so profound. Oftentimes you hear people talking about having a wealth mindset. You know, what does that mean? Because I mean, my parents were always saying, you know, it's hard to make money and money doesn't grow on trees. And so I had, you know, most of us have all that, right? So I don't have a wealth mindset. I mean, I don't even know what that means, right? So what does that mean? And how do you start moving in that direction?
Oh, you're good at this. I really like it. I really like your interview. No, I really am. I'm sincere.
Oh, thank you.
I do lots of interviews, but I can tell you're really speaking sincerely from your heart, and you have in mind all the different people and where they're coming from. So I'm, again, applauding you and acknowledging you. First of all, we all have a money story. We all have a money story. We all grew up with one. I was chuckling a little bit when you were talking about money doesn't grow on trees, because, you know, I heard that too. And I remember my father saying when I was a kid that the best way to double your money was to fold it over and put it back in your pocket.
Oh, wow.
And for the longest time, it kind of made sense. But we all receive that kind of limited thinking. Right. There's scarcity thinking. And what I remind everybody is that, look, you downloaded information about relationships, about money, about possibility, and everything else from your parents. And were they enlightened? Most likely not. They had their own filters. They had their own belief system. They had downloaded information from their parents before them. When they download to you, they're not doing it in some sort of evil, devious way. They actually are trying to protect you. Yeah. They're saying money doesn't grow on trees, so protect yourself. Hold on to your money. They say double your money by folding it and putting it back in your pocket as a way of making sure you take care of yourself. So they're doing it for well-intended reasons, but they give you a story that comes from the world of lack and limitation and scarcity. So what I learned is that I had to create a new world. And I'm saying this intentionally. You create a new world. You create it by creating new beliefs. Like one of the beliefs I remember taking on earlier was the idea that the more money I spend, the more money I receive. Now, virtually anybody that you tell that to would go, well, that doesn't work like that. Have you ever actually tried it, Joe? Yes, and guess what? That is what happens in my life because I now believe it. It's part of my new story. See, I'm wearing a T-shirt that says "Expect Miracles," which
I
you
love
might
that.
be able to see. Most people walk through life going, "I expect crap," or "I expect, the more blunt version of that."
Right.
And I'm putting out a new message here, saying, "No, let's start expecting the best. Let's start expecting optimism. Let's start expecting good things, knowing that your beliefs filter reality." I mean, it's literally like having glasses on, and it's filtering what's coming in. And if you do believe in the old school lack and limitation story that most of us got, that when you look out into the world, you're going to find it matches to it. You're going to find evidence for it because your brain is filtering all the evidence out and only allowing in a match to your old story. When you create a new story, like, I wonder where all the possibilities are. I wonder where the money is hidden, and I could see it if I put on the right glasses. I wonder what would happen if I expect miracles. I wonder what would happen if I started saying that the more money I spend, the more money I receive. Now you're giving yourself new beliefs, and your brain will adopt those. When you look out into the universe, you have a new filter, and it's going to show you evidence for your new story. So you create it. And another way that you do it, because you were asking about what the wealth mindset is, I have found reading the success-oriented books that are around money. Think and Grow Rich is one of the most obvious examples. I know wealthy people who say, I read the book every year. There are people who have read that book 50 sometimes. I'm not one of them, but I do have autographed copies of it over here on the shelf because it's one of those influential books in my life. And it's the whole idea of soaking up a different mindset. A friend of mine just wrote a book that was released today. It's called You Are a Badass at Making Money. You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's by Jen Sincero. She doesn't even know I'm saying this, and I didn't even know I was going to say it. But I started.
Get the book.
Yeah, get the book. You Are a Badass at Making Money. Yeah, green cover, Jen Sincero, out today as we make this. So there's the Kindle and the paperback and the hardcover and the audio. And all of it is giving you this new information. And this new information is the wealth mindset we want to adopt. And I also want to assure people, when I say that we all had a money story that we were given, that you can shake that loose. That you can become aware of the beliefs that were given to you, much like my father, and at a certain point, you can laugh about them, much like I do with my father's. When he first told it to me, I didn't laugh. It's my dad. He's the authority figure. He's the programmer in my life. So when he says, double your money, fold it, put it back in your pocket, I'm going, oh, okay, that's the way you do it. He was also taught that the best friend you have is the dollar bill in your pocket. And where did he get that? From the U.S. Marines in 1940. That's what they were telling those recruits. And when my father has kids, he tells me that. And it isn't until I go through homelessness and poverty and I'm starting to soak up the Think and Grow Rich success material and new mindset and creating a new story that I realize, wait a minute, that doesn't have to be my case. That was their case. So I could choose to believe it or I can choose to replace it. I chose to say goodbye to you. I'm going with wealth and real friends, and the more I spend, the more I receive.
I love that. See, okay, guys, he just said it. We can transform our money story. Hence the summit. There you go. End of story. Now we don't need to interview anybody else. Only kidding. No. It's already done. I expect miracles. I'm getting myself a T-shirt like that.
All right.
Yeah. So what you did say, I was going to ask you about this, and this is what you just did say, that it's a choice. I mean, again, a lot of times we gripe about how things aren't changing for us. And we start something, we commit to something, and then we don't follow through. And so we're really making a choice to stay in our comfort zone, right? We're making a choice to stay in the old story as opposed to creating something new. So
yeah. Well, the first thing to remember is that it's not really a choice in most people's lives until a moment like this.
Right.
Because most people are on automatic pilot, right? They're not questioning their beliefs because they're living out of their beliefs. And so for them, that's reality. But because of something like this, what you're doing, which is why I think it's so wonderful, you give the people a chance to awaken. Yeah. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute, maybe my beliefs have actually not been serving me. Maybe I can change them. Now they have choice now because of this moment, because of the gift of you and what you're providing them. So I think that is powerful. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is change is far more rapid if you are in a support group. If you have a coach that believes in you, a mentor that believes in you, if you're in a mastermind, which is a group of people, 5 or 6 people who believe in you, I have found that throughout my life. Whenever I've gotten a coach, I got breakthrough results. In fact, my latest album is called The Great Something. I hope you don't mind a little
no, please.
The interview. We're musicians. We know how important this is there, but I'm sharing it for a reason.
Yeah.
I had a songwriting lesson with Melissa Etheridge.
Oh, wow.
I think you can see the picture of her and I there.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah. And
that was coaching to me. In fact, when I sat with her, she heard limiting beliefs come out of me that I didn't hear. And this is, and consider this is the guy. I'm in 16 movies. I've written 50 books. This is my career. This is what I teach people, is to be aware of your own beliefs. And yet I don't know all of mine. I needed somebody on the outside who can listen to me and reflect back to me what my own limiting beliefs are. And at that point, I can question them. I can change them only because I'm aware of them. So Melissa Etheridge was doing that for me, but I created Miracles Coaching because I knew how important coaching is to people that are trying to make change on your own. You can definitely make change on your own. People do it all the time. Write books, the right audios, the right moments like this that can have change. I'm just saying I've seen accelerated change when people get an ally, when they get a coach. That's why I started Miracles Coaching. That's why I went to Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah, I love that. That's why I became a coach, because I flew by the seat of my pants for so many years, and I didn't have strategy. I didn't have community support. So yeah, I hear you. And too, you can maybe just briefly speak into this. And which is kind of what you said. Melissa Etheridge has been around forever, but it's about surrounding yourself with people that are successful and that are doing these things, because don't we absorb the energy, the vibration of the people around us?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be with people that have the high vibration, optimism, that can actually bring your own energy up. For most people, they're going to, if the people watching are going to jobs they don't like, I know what that's like, because when I was in Houston, I worked for an oil company, and I cried to go to work, and I cried coming home because I wasn't happy doing it. But I was writing in the mornings, on lunch, and in the evenings, trying to pursue my passion, and I was pursuing my passion. But I think it's real important that we go to a mastermind and we go to a group where the people are more elevated. They are success-oriented. They are trying to make a difference in their lives. They're not the complainers of the world. They're more of the encouragers of the world. And that's an important shift for all of us. If you're still stuck going to the job, find a way to enjoy it, make fun with it, smile as you go to work, but also look for the people either there or outside of there that are the encouragers. And you can find them on Facebook. There's groups of people that support people. There are different groups, whether they're social groups or mastermind groups, some business groups are like this. But I think it's real important that you surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage you.
Yes, I love that. That's so true. 100% true. Thank you. And what I love about what you shared too is, how you were brought up against your beliefs. We never stop growing. I mean, it's an evolution. It doesn't know how, it doesn't matter how much you know. People always say, well, Oprah Winfrey, you guys never have any problems. You've got it all together. Everybody has bad days, right? I mean, right. We're always growing and shifting. We
are always growing. And what I tell people is, whenever you set a goal to do something you've never done before, you're going to feel you're going out of your comfort zone. And the example I give is, if I decided that I was going to go mountain climbing, Everest or some Himalayan mountain, I've never done it at all. I barely go up hills. And if I suddenly decided I was going to do it, I'd be afraid. But I know enough that I'd question the beliefs that are around the fear. And there'd be beliefs like, can I do this? Physically, can I do this? And I'd have doubts about, well, am I too old to do this, too out of shape? And I'd question all those beliefs, either with myself or with a coach. Then the next thing I would do is I would get informed. I'd find out, how do you prepare to go up a mountain? Do I take classes on it? Would I read books on it? Do I talk to other people who have already done it? I'd probably join some club that everybody's got to go up a mountain. And what we would be doing was encouraging each other. And so no matter what it is that you decide to do, and I was that way with music too. In fact, Melissa Etheridge, I've been a fan of hers for 25 years.
Yeah.
To be in her home,
Wow.
studio, sitting beside her, I was like a nervous schoolboy. But I did it. And that's the whole point. Whenever we want to do something we haven't done before, you hit your comfort zone level. But all that means is dissolve the beliefs and the fears. It doesn't mean don't do it. It just means this is exciting. It's something new.
Life's an adventure, right? I mean,
yes, it is.
And it's short. Let's, have the adventure.
That's true.
I love that. You magnetized her in. That is so cool. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. I could go on with you. I just have to tell you, your energy's off the charts.
Yeah.
I feel so elated and at peace. And so just in our short time together, I have had so many epiphanies, and it seems so easy. What you've given is easy. It's doable. It's a great starting point. I don't even need to ask about steps because you've already given it. I like gratitude. Like you said, if you're in a crappy situation, just start being grateful for where you are, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I would love to ask one last thing, and that is, do you have any, final thoughts for people who are really stuck in this old story and they've been searching and they're really down and out? And they want to really start somewhere. Do you have any final words about, because you're a great encourager, what would you have to say to them?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, it's an illusion to feel that nothing is happening. Life is movement. It is moving at warp speed. The planet is turning. You are breathing. Life is growing. You're aging. Everybody's aging as we're sitting here. So life is happening. It may not be happening the way you prefer it. And when you state that, that's when you start thinking, oh, nothing's working out in my favor. Well, everything's working out, and it is working. And you have to have that. This is part of the new mindset, the belief that everything that is happening in my best interest. It is on my timeline. The universe is orchestrating the people and the moments and moving them around like chess pieces. So maybe tomorrow morning I get the phone call that I was thinking should have been here 3 days ago, or maybe I meet the person by synchronicity, by accidents, by coincidence, that is actually a piece of the puzzle to take me to whatever the dream is. But I think we got to back it up, because the big lesson, I mean, really, this is my whole message, and nobody ever gets it because they all want something else. My whole message is, this is the miracle.
Yes.
We're in the miracle right now. And everybody's going, nothing's happening. I'm not getting what I'm wanting.
Ooh.
Why doesn't anything work? And I'm saying, my God, folks, you are living the miracle. This is the moment right now that will never happen again. We're so often in this moment and oblivious to it because we're thinking about the other moments, thinking, oh, those were pretty good. Or we're thinking about the future moments going, boy, I don't like that Joe Vitale. I can't wait for the next speaker. But they're missing the moment, the gratitude and everything, the transformation. It's in this moment. If we really sat in this moment and we're grateful for this moment, all those things we were waiting for and wanting to attract and achieve, they start to come to us faster.
Oh, my God.
That's the big message. My most recent book is called The Miracle, because I really think that's what we want and that's what we have, but we don't know it because we keep thinking we want something else. Appreciate this miracle. It goes back to that gratitude thing. I mean, really be in this moment. I'm feeling it right now with you. I mean, I can feel the connection and everything because we're both in this moment. But this is the point of power. You create out of this moment. So everything, it really is happening, and it's happening right now.
Oh my God. You just make me want to cry with joy. Really. I feel you. I get you. It's so beautiful and so freaking simple. To be in the moment right now is the magic. Hello. Oh my God. You are so powerful. You're so powerful. And I love being in your energy, and I'm just going to receive it, take it all in, because it really touched my heart. Like I said, I could sit and talk with you all day, and I absolutely am blessed that we had this opportunity to share this time together. I believe you have a free gift for everyone who is watching today. Would you like to share that?
Yes, I heard from so many people who were struggling with money, and of course I went through the period, so I know what that was like, that I wrote a book on how to attract money. It's called Attract Money Now. And Attract Money Now has a 7-step formula in it that you just go through those steps and you will transform yourself and your relationship to money, and you'll start attracting it. And the steps include, the very first one is dealing with your mindset. As I mentioned earlier, if you have beliefs about yourself or deservingness or money, any of those categories, and you will stop your own flow. And it will seem like nothing is happening or you're not receiving anything. So the whole book is designed to take you through those 7 steps. There are 7 simple steps. I tell stories. I give exercises. It's an entire book. I'm giving it away. I can't read it for people. I can't do it for people, but I can give it to people. So Attract Money Now is my gift to everybody. And I think you have a link you can give them or put down at the bottom of the screen or something so they can go fetch it.
Absolutely. I want that too. I'm going to get my hands on that. Everybody, if you don't grab this free gift and watch this interview 10 times, really, it's crazy. If you want change, then do it. And also, Dr. Joe, how can people find you? Obviously, they can just punch in your name, right?
Right. They can punch in my name. The main website is actually joevitale.com, but you can also get there putting in my nickname, which is mrfire.com. So www.mrfire.com, mrfire.com. And there's portals to videos, my blog, photos, articles that have been, that website is about 25 years old and I've been adding to it all of this time. So pack a lunch and have a little wine and just enjoy the experience of exploring mrfire.com. And thank you for the honor of being here. You are a joy to talk to. And I love how perceptive and sincere you are. So I totally endorse what you're doing, and Godspeed to you and everybody that's listening and watching. Thank you.
Thank you. Just touched my heart so much. Oh my God. Thank you again for the honor and the joy and for taking the time to be here. It means so much. I know it's going to help so many people.
All
right. You guys, thanks for joining us. And again, Dr. Joe Vitale, everybody check him out. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Bye now.